presentation? Because it's not showing up on my screen and it's freaking me out because I can't tell that you can see it. Okay, good. And now we're recording. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. If you guys will do me a really big favor and make sure you stay muted throughout the meeting and hold your questions till the end. And at the end, I'll let questions roll and we can type them in the chat and I'll go through them as they come in. But if you could save them till the end, that would be really helpful. So,
hey, Mrs. Becker.
Sir.
Real quick, I'm testing my microphone now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right. So first of all, we are really happy that you are joining us this evening. Hopefully we all enjoy the parent meeting virtually as a platform instead of finding the time to come up to school. So we're just really thankful that you're here and joining us tonight. And I'm going to jump in. I am talking. Yes, Miss Bonin. So she's asking a question. Yes. Mr. Urban, can you help facilitate that stuff? Maybe log back out and log back in. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's usually kind of how to fix that. Is to go out and
log
go back.
out and log in. It's the old turn it off, turn it back on problem. Okay. So anyway, yes, welcome to all of you. Our kind of theme for the year this year is flexibility, and we're going to roll with it throughout the course of the year. I know that you've already had to deal with all kinds of that stuff since school started, just with all the new technologies and internet going out and power going out and all kinds of crazy stuff. So our theme is flexibility. And sorry, I keep having to click the admit people into the meeting button and it gets me off track. I'm sorry. We also are still going to insist on high levels of performance and high levels of participation from all of our students. We have high expectations of our band students, and yes, we're in a pandemic. Yes, things are different. Yes, everything is virtual, but we still do have high expectations. And while we remain flexible, we are going to continue pushing forward and just making the best of the situation and pushing all of our kids to achieve at the highest possible level that they are able to achieve at during this time. We also want everything to be fun. Band is supposed to be fun. And the hardest part about this is not the way that we do band. It's not the same experience, unfortunately. And a lot, you're going to hear your kids throughout the course of this year go, this isn't fun. This is boring. I don't like this. And I know, neither do I. Neither do we. We would much prefer to have 65 kids in our room playing noise all day long, but that's just not the way that it's going to work this year. And so we're doing our very, very best to make sure that the experience that your kids have is fun, engaging, meaningful, but also just a really great learning experience. And yes, we're going to music, but we're also going to learn life lessons about how it doesn't always work the way we want it to. But we have to roll with the punches and figure out a plan B and a C and a D and a X, because by the time we've gone through all the plans, that's where we're at. So those are the kinds of things that we're going to make sure we're focusing on this year with your students. But again, our biggest focus will be on having meaningful musical experiences.
We're new. I'm just, we come from Saxe.
Oh, okay. That's still dry.
There we go. Okay. Where'd that one come from? Sorry. I see the little things and I'm like, oh, mute. Okay. So virtual versus face-to-face, we have about half and half in our band program. in school, and it's definitely going to be a different experience whether you're face-to-face or virtual. But again, we just want to make sure that your child has a positive experience in band this year, no matter where they're learning. And we're working really hard to make sure that that's a reality. Although, again, we're on plan C, so we're making it work as we go. So thank you again for being flexible as we figure stuff out and we change our plans, and we have to send you emails all the time with different information. That's not how we usually roll. I just want everybody to be aware. If you're a 6th grade parent, that's not how we do things. We plan a whole year in advance, and I can tell you next August what we're going to be doing on what day, but that's not where we are, and it's really hard for me. So we're trying to make it work. The calendar is a work in progress. All of your students should have received a band binder. If you've picked it up, if you haven't picked up your band binder yet, we still have one for your student. You can send me an email and we can set up a time for you to come swing by and pick that up. But there is an orange band calendar in the front of every band binder, and a lot of it has dates that are to be announced. And we've planned a lot of stuff, but we just don't know when all of those things are going to happen yet. So just, again, please be flexible with us. All of our performances, we are still planning to have performances. We do have to follow the GISD guidelines for when and how and where we can do that. And for right now, all performances are canceled through October. But we always have a fall concert in October, and we're still going to have a fall concert in October. It's going to be a virtual concert, and I'm going to figure out how to mesh all of our recordings together in little squares of your children in a big giant video, and we're going to put it out there. And I'm going to be an audio engineer and a video technician by the time this is all done. But it's going to happen still, because performing is, what we do this for, and it's not going to look the same, and it's going to feel different. But it's really important to us that the world still gets to see what we're up to, and that you still get to see your children performing on their instrument. So that's happening very, very soon. And as we all do, that there is so much new technology, and we're working through it, as I know you are. And Canvas is new and it's different, and it is going to be really, really cool. I think it is really cool. You might not think it yet, but I think you will. So, and I'm going to show you some really cool stuff about it at the end of this meeting. I hope you'll stick with me through that. There are some apps that we're using that are specific to band, and a couple of them I'm going to get to show you here in just a few minutes. But there's that. I should have started with this. I'm Heather Becker. I'm the band director at Hudson Middle School. This is my 7th year at Hudson. I teach the Wind Symphony, which on your child's Skyward class is called the Varsity Band. I also teach the Honors Band, or no, what? Did I just write that wrong? I totally did. I don't teach the Honors Band. I teach the Symphonic Band, and I'm going to change that on my PowerPoint, and you can go back and look at it correctly later. I'm really sorry about that. I teach the Symphonic Band, which is called Sub Non-Varsity A on your students' Skyward schedule. I also teach all the beginner woodwind classes, which would be flute, oboe, clarinet, and saxophone. And then you can see contact information and conference period, all that kind of stuff down there. Mr. Urban is my trusty sidekick, my right-hand man. He teaches the Honors Band, which would be called non-varsity on your child's schedule. And he also teaches all of our beginner brass classes. That is trumpet, French horn, trombone, euphonium, and tuba. And you can see his contact information there also. Mr. John Robinson, he is one of the band directors at Saxe High School, but he also teaches our beginner percussion class. So if your student is in the beginner percussion class, they've already had classes with Mr. Robinson every day. I see them back there like playing on their pads. They're going to town. It's awesome already. And we're really lucky that he comes over to our campus. Well, he will, but he comes to teach those kids. He also works with the percussionist in our Wind Symphony and Honors Band classes. And then we are really lucky this semester. We have a student teacher, and her name is Miss Sue Manawis. Excuse me, Miss Sue Manawis, and she is about to get her certification to become a full-fledged band director. She is amazing and wonderful, and we just love her already. I was really, kind of hesitant at the beginning. What do I do with a student teacher this year? Like this is not real. Like, this isn't what it's really like. But she has just jumped in with both feet and has been a great help to us. Your students are going to start to see her in front of their class more in the coming weeks as we kind of get the ball rolling just a little bit more. So we're really excited to have her. You can also click. All of the links in this presentation are clickable. You can click on all the stuff that's green and it'll take you to forms and extra pages and more information. So speaking of communication, I try to do a lot of it. I'm sorry if I go overboard. I just don't ever want to be accused of not giving enough information. So maybe I do the opposite of that. But we have lots of forms of communication. The big one that we kind of use in the band world to keep track of all of our students is called Charms. The link to Charms is up there. All of your students are already in our Charms database. It's basically just a big database, but it's basically used or mostly used for music organizations, but all over the country. And we keep your contact information there, your addresses, phone numbers, emails. You can actually go in and change them at any time. If you get a new cell phone or a new email or change jobs and have a new way for us to contact you, you can change that at any time by logging into the Charm system and just updating your information. I put the information about how to log in to Charms on here. I'm not going to go through all of that with you because you are welcome to do that on your own time if you want. There is a school code that everybody has to type in to get into Charms, and it's Hudson Sound Machine, and then you'll use your student's password to log in. Some of our 7th and 8th graders, we attempted to log into Charms the very first week of school and just make sure everybody could get back in and check on their information. And some of us were having difficulties. Some of us got in and then Charms forced them to update their password. So if you have a 7th or 8th grade student, ask them if they got into Charms and if they updated their password, because you'll want to know what they changed it to. Because I no longer have the authority to reset passwords in Charms, which is kind of annoying, if I'm going to be honest. But it is what it is. So talk to your child. And if your student is brand new, 6th grader, they've never logged into Charms before, when you go in, the password is just your student's ID number without an S, just the same 6 digits if it's the first time you've ever logged in. We also have a band website, hudsonband.org. I update the website. I try to update it every single week. What is happening? Did my presentation just go away? Yeah. All right. I don't know.
I still see it up top.
You do? All right.
Yes.
Like something popped up and says it stopped sharing. Like, I didn't tell you to stop sharing. Okay.
Mrs. Becker, can you tell someone, I mean, it's Mr. Luce, he's presenting by accident.
Oh.
Can you dismiss him maybe? There you go. Okay.
Thanks.
Right.
Are we good now? Like I ask your kids, thumbs up if you're with me.
Yeah, okay. We're back now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We see thumbs all the time. Okay. Band website, hudsonband.org. It is updated usually once a week with the calendar. I put when we're in person and I hand your student a piece of paper, that handout goes onto the website, so you always have access to those things if they don't make it home to you. That's also where I post our weekly newsletters, the s'mores. They're all on the website with lots of other information. We're using district communication with Canvas and Skyward. I do send out the s'more every single week with probably a lot of information. You know, I tried to streamline the last one so that stuff that I kept on there from the week before, I put it at the bottom and like notated, this is old news. So if you already read it, it's not important anymore, but I don't know. I don't know if that was helpful or not. We also use Remind. Remind is just it is an app that you can download to your phone if you want. It's also just a way for us to send a quick text message to you and to your student. I used it this afternoon. Our Wind Symphony students all had sectionals, and I didn't have class with them today. So at 12:30, I sent the message, don't forget you have your section afternoon, and then they all showed up, so it was super great. So if you would like to receive our Remind messages, the information about how to log into the correct class is on your screen. Then we also have every kind of social media account you could ever want: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a Pinterest page. That one doesn't get updated often enough because who has time to scroll through Pinterest? Not right now, although I wish I did. And I also have a YouTube channel. You know, all the kids years ago, you cannot see the presentation. Let me try to stop presenting and then I'll try to present again. Let's see what happens. Thanks for bearing with me and being flexible. Can you see it again? Maybe, I hope. All right. Yay, okay, problem solved. Another thing we're teaching your children all year this year, how to be problem solvers on their own before they go to lots of other people for help. We're trying really hard to make them be their own problem solver. Social media, there it is. I do have a YouTube channel. I have posted lots of stuff there. Right recently, they're all how-to videos, how to submit this assignment, how to log into this thing, how to use Canvas. So like and subscribe to my page. Isn't that what they say? I think something like that. All right. There you go. All right. Oops. Let's talk just briefly about what life is going to look like on September the 8th for those of us that are virtual versus those of us that are face-to-face. Basically, it's going to look a lot the same, actually. Our band classes, let me back up. So we will be on a block schedule, just like we are right now, with 4 classes every other day, except once we go back on September the 8th, those classes become 90 minutes long. And all of the teachers are teaching the virtual students and the face-to-face students simultaneously. So in our world, the easiest way for that to not make everybody lose their mind is to basically live stream our in-person band classes. And so that's what we plan to do. So if your student is going to be a virtual learner from September 7th, they're going to log in, they're going to be with the rest of the band students. I will, and Mr. Urban will be wearing, lapel microphones so we can be talking to your students and not have to yell to the webcam, which will be a few feet away. But that's kind of our plan for how that's going to work. So they'll be participating in class just like they were actually sitting there with the rest of the students. The big difference will be the virtual students will need to submit playing assignments through Canvas each week, just because it facilitating that in 2 forms at the same time is I can't make my brain make it work. So that's our plan for that. Performances will still happen even for the virtual only students. Again, it's going to be, the virtual bands with Brady Bunch style on the screen. social events, we still plan to have those. We like to do that stuff in band. Right now, I don't know what that's going to look like, but the plan is to do something in September that is a social event for band. Again, I haven't planned it yet because I'm not there mentally, so I'm trying. But we want to include all of your students, and we're going to find a way to make that happen, and I will share those details as they get worked out. For the virtual students, it might help if you have access to a printer, because we will be distributing more music and more just materials, more handouts and supplemental materials to your students. We do have a virtual band binder in Canvas that I'll show you in a little while, but we have discovered that it's much easier for the students if they have a physical, piece of music in front of them, because being on the screen for their meeting, their virtual meeting, and trying to use the screen to look at the music at the same time is a challenge for a lot of our students. So access to a printer, if you have one, will come in handy for sure. For our face-to-face learners, there's lots of safety protocols in place. It's definitely not going to look like normal, whatever normal is. There's, let me just go through it. Ready? We have band-specific personal protective equipment. Is that what PPE stands for? Okay, PPE. Students, face-to-face students will be given a special mask for playing during band. The percussionists will not receive one, but all the other students will get a special band mask provided by the district. Basically, it's like overlapping fabric. So you can pull the fabric apart, put your mouthpiece in there, and then when you take a breath, you're not inhaling aerosols that are in the air. They will also be given a bell cover. There's lots of studies. One really big one that is still ongoing. My presentation is gone again. Is it gone for everybody? Just some people. It says I'm presenting. You can still see it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep talking and I'll try to refresh it. And
I think it's just a few people. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to keep going, but I'll talk while I'm re-presenting. Okay. So your students will also get a bell cover. There's a big study that's been put on all summer long. It's still kind of ongoing by the University of Colorado at Boulder, if you are interested in looking that up, that just talks about how the virus is expelled in aerosol particles through band instruments and through singing. Should be coming back, hopefully. Did it come back?
Yeah, it's back now.
Okay. All right, I'm going to leave that alone. I will share it with you all again, but I'm going to stop trying to re-present. Okay. So the bell covers are on the ends of the instrument, and the idea is they don't allow the aerosolized particles to go into the air through an instrument. So all of your students will be, well, not all of them. The ones that they make bell covers for will be receiving bell covers from the district for their instruments. Once those items are distributed to your student, it is their responsibility. We will not be taking them up to wash them. We will not be leaving them at school to, once we hand it to you, it belongs to your child. And if they lose it, they're going to have to find a way to get another one, because they have to have those things in order to participate in in-person band class. They'll need to be washed regularly and brought back to class when your student has their band class. And I should have more information very soon about the possibility of purchasing extras from the company that is supplying them to the district if you're interested in purchasing an extra bell cover or an extra band mask. Also, the special band masks with the overlapping fabric are not able to be worn in the rest of the school. They're only for use in the band hall. They have to put back on their regular mask before they go back to their other classes. Other things for face-to-face learners, we are only allowed to play instruments for 30 minutes at a time, and then we have to stop for 15 minutes to allow the HVAC system to recirculate the air and expel some of those particles. I'm trying to sound intelligent about the whole thing, but I'm definitely not the scientist, and we're doing the best we can. But we are following every guideline that has been presented to us, and I promise to the letter. I am a rule follower. I don't mess around with that kind of stuff. So we will stop playing every 15 minutes or after 30 minutes for 15 minutes to allow for that to happen. Classes may be held outside when the spacing guidelines can't be met. In our band classes, we have to space our students out for the in-person kids at 10 feet intervals. They have to sit in a grid all facing the same direction, but in band, they have to be spaced out by 10 feet, not 6 feet. So we can fit 20 students in the band hall that way, and we can fit 6 students in the ensemble room, which is like our smaller rehearsal space that way. Mr. Urban, I think that's coming from you.
Oh, sorry.
So where was I? So in instances where our classes are larger than the space allows for that 10 feet to be followed, we will have classes outside when the weather is permitting that. Mr. Urban and I will also wear microphones to help the students be able to hear us, because we will be wearing masks and face shields at all times. And yes, it does say puppy pads will be used for our brass playing students to empty their water valves so that that's not going onto the carpet. We'll take the puppy pad, cut it up into pieces. Each child will get a piece for the day, and then they will distribute that in the trash can on their way out the door. If you don't have a puppy anymore and you have some puppy pads you're looking to get rid of, we will gladly take them off your hands. Just thought I'd throw that one out there. Band lockers. We do have band lockers. We will be using those only in the mornings and until your student has their band class. They'll be able, yes, thanks. Once your student arrives at school, they will be able to come into the band hall to put their instrument into their band locker, and then they will go immediately to their first period class. And then when they come to band, they'll get their instrument out of their locker, have their band class, and then once their band class is over, they take their instrument with them to the rest of their classes for the rest of the day. Because they're not going to allow students to come back down to the band hall and mix all together to get instruments before they leave. So with that in mind, the students that use our larger school-owned instruments, we are working right now to make sure that we can find enough instruments for all of those students to have one that stays at home and one that they have at school. That's people like tubas, euphonium players, hopefully French horns, bari saxes, just the really large instruments. We're working on that as we speak. We are not going to use the locks on the locker. Yes, Ms. Fisher, after they have their first period class, they'll take their instrument with them to second, third, and fourth. On the bright side, they only have 3 more classes to go to instead of 6 more classes. So I know it's not ideal, but it's what I was told. I'm just the messenger on that one. So there you go. Let's see. We're not going to be using locks just to keep the time of students being near the lockers to a minimum, also to have less things that have to be cleaned every day. If you want your student to have their own lock, you're welcome to provide that for them, but we're not using locks this year. Also, there won't be very many students with instruments in the lockers anyway, so it won't be a big deal, I don't think. I already said that we have to be in a 10 feet spacing. If your student attends private lessons, the lesson teachers are not allowed to be on our campus right now. but they are still allowed to teach lessons virtually. So we will have practice rooms available for students to go in with their device and have their lesson virtually during their band class, just like they normally would. And then after they have their lesson, there will not be another student that goes back in the same room for at least 30 minutes. So it's all a big puzzle, and we're going to figure it out and make sure that, you know, we use all the areas that we have available to us. Speaking of private lessons are the single best investment that you can make in your students' music education. Lessons are basically a one-on-one support with a professional on every single instrument. They are an extra expense. Private lessons are $18 per week, but we do have some of the very best private lesson teachers in the area in the North Texas region that teach our students because we have really fantastic students. So if that $18 per week is something that your family can afford, I would highly encourage you to sign your student up for lessons, especially this year, being that we only have band class every other day. That's less continuous instruction than we would normally have. And so private lessons are most definitely a way to continue, you know, the momentum every day for your students. So we do have limited scholarship funds available in 1/3, 1/2, and possibly 2/3. If that is a need for you, please contact me. If that's the only thing keeping you from signing your student up for lessons, please let me know, and I will see how we can help you, and I will share the private lesson scholarship application with you. If you would like to sign your student up for lessons, there is a form you can click on right there in green to sign up for lessons. Please sign up for lessons if you can. Our private lesson teachers, we all know the economy is not where it was, you know, 6 months ago. And a lot of our private lesson teachers, this is their income. This is how they make their living. And so if we can continue to support them, we want to do that in any way that we can. And so that's just my plea. If you can do it, please. And if you want to know more about our private lesson teachers, who they are, what their contact, you want to email them, call them, whatever, there's a link also right there for you to see their information. Next. Sorry. I told you that we want so much to make band fun for your students this year and for it to be a really meaningful experience for them. And so we like to reward our kids, and we've started doing that already with our Scoreboard system. We have a scoreboard for every band class, and you can click on each one of them for which class your student is in to see how many points they have. Basically, we're giving them points for playing things well in class, for volunteering to lead things, for volunteering to perform in front of their peers, for I can't get my brain out. Did I say for answering questions? For answering questions, for, you know, for being the one that goes, me, I'll do it. They get points for that, for just following directions, for sitting still in their chair instead of twirling around in circles that day. Said that one today. Stop spinning. So we're just giving them points for being awesome kids and for passing things off and performing really well. And then we will be rewarding your students. The top one in each class at the end of each week will get a goodie bag. They all got stuffed by my super fun helpers today, goodie bags. I'm not going to tell you what's in them because that's a surprise that 4 kids get to find out tomorrow. So we will use the Scoreboard system to help decide who wins that week. We also, it's not going to be the same child every single week because we want to reward every kid for doing really great things. You can also see their pass-off charts. Pass-offs. Is everybody else frozen or am I frozen?
You're fine to me.
Everybody just froze. Okay. I'm still fine. All right. Good.
No, you're fine to me. Yeah.
Okay, pass-offs are really important. That's kind of our way just to make sure that our students are meeting their goals. And so you can click on either one of those two pass-off charts. They look kind of overwhelming because there's just tons and tons of check boxes. And as your students pass off things, they'll get their check marks on there. They get more points on the scoreboard. We all win. They get better at their instrument, and it's a fun way to do it. So. Starting tomorrow is when we're going to deliver the first goodie bags to the 4 students of the week. Grades. Finally this week, I was able to get Canvas to actually talk to Skyward, which is what it's supposed to do. But it took me a really long time to actually get that to happen. So if you have checked Skyward this week, you might have noticed some missing assignments in your child's band class. Don't panic. It's fine. It's not fine, but it'll be okay. We give grace. We are we're flexible, and we're all learning all of these new systems, and everything doesn't work perfectly all the time. So if your student has a missing assignment, we're going to take it whenever it gets turned into us. It's okay. Please don't ever think that your child is going to fail band. That doesn't happen. Unless your child just refuses to play their instrument, they're not going to fail our class. We will do everything in our power to make sure that their grade is acceptable to all of us, because it should be. It's not hard to get a good grade in band. So if you have questions about that, please let me know. Skyward is the official grade book, and we're going to be exporting the grades from Canvas into Skyward twice a week. I do think that when I did that the first time, that some weird things happened, like kids that said, I did that, I turned it in. Well, now apparently it's just not there anymore. So we're trying to work through those weird things, but bear with us because we're figuring it out. So practice log grades, one thing that will be a constant, it will never go away, is practice logs. If your student is in the 7th or 8th grade, they've already filled out 2 practice logs since school started. If your student is in the 6th grade, they're going to get to start filling out their practice logs on Monday. So that is a weekly grade. Again, weekly grade for every single band student. It never goes away. This year, we're also not doing practice logs and charms. If your 7th or 8th grade student goes, we do it in charms. No, we don't. Not anymore. They don't happen in charms. They happen in Canvas because everything happens in Canvas. So what's next? Band handbook. There is a link to our band handbook. The band handbook is wordy. It's like 17 pages long. It basically tells you everything you ever wanted to know about band and then some. It's very detailed. It is also based on a typical year in band. So there are some things that are not going to be typical, but I kind of left it alone just because we really don't know what to expect in the spring. So if you will please take some time to read over the band handbook, I would really appreciate it, because underneath the band handbook, there are handbook forms that we need every student to return. There is a handbook acknowledgement form, which everybody signs that says, we read the band handbook. So please make sure you read the band handbook, and your student has to sign that form too. And life lesson that we learn every year, I didn't sign that. I didn't know that was happening. Well, it was in the band handbook and you signed the piece of paper that said you read it. So we like to make sure we read the things that we are signing papers for. There is a cost form in the band handbook. There's a cost form in the band handbook. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And there's an audio visual release form that is also going to be really, really important when we go to put together virtual band concerts. Because if I don't have the form that says we can use your student's picture and audio of your student, I can't put them in the virtual band concert. And we really want to be able to show off our entire band. So I would love it if you would get those forms filled out and returned. Then you can click on the submit completed handbook forms here and upload your handbook forms to that file. Then this is lovely. There's a little green thing that says check here and see what size shirt your student has requested. The very first week of school, we had our students fill out a form with lots of information and just some silly stuff to get to know them better. Which one do you like better, Chick-fil-A or Raising Cane's? Like, I'm a vegetarian. Well, which one has better French fries? So that was how we got around that question. And it asked for their t-shirt size because we are having new band shirts made this year. So if you're curious to know what size shirt your student requested, because they might not have requested what you think they should have requested, you can click on that link. You will need to search by their ID number, Control F and type it in. If their size is incorrect or they're just missing from the form because they haven't filled it out yet, you can fill out the other form underneath.
Hey, Mrs. Becker.
Sure.
There was a question in the chat asking about, can you actually click the links that you're actually showing, or because some
Not
people
the
try to
ones that
click.
are on the screen. No,
Oh,
but I
okay.
did send this entire presentation out to all the parents at about 4:30 this afternoon, and it does, like, if they open the presentation that I emailed to them, you should be able to click on the links. But the one that's just shared on the screen, you can't. No, Miss Fisher, it's not the official band shirt. If your child is a 6th grader, a new band student, they did receive a shirt. That is just a, yay, you're in band. Here's a free t-shirt because we love you and we want you to be excited about band shirt. That's not the official Hudson Band shirt for 2020, 2021. They do get a second shirt for this school year.
Who doesn't?
So do we. Band fees. Yes, we do have fees for bands. It is $30 for all students for the fall semester. That is going to include the band binder that they've already received with all the materials inside of it and any additional materials we are able to get out to them. The band t-shirt that they're going to get that they will wear in their virtual band performances. Subscriptions to things like Breezing Through Theory and Music First. That's all included in the $30 fall semester band fee. We don't know what we're going to be able to do in the spring, so we are going to reassess our spring band fee when we know more about what we get to participate in. If your student is a 7th or 8th grader and they paid their band fees in full last year, there has been a credit applied to your student's Charms account in differing amounts based on which band they were in, really because different bands didn't get to do certain things. So once you are able to log into your student's Charms account, you can see, if you click on, it looks like a little wallet. It is the finances button, finances little app thing. All you're looking for is the thing that says total balance due. Charms is like a necessary evil of band. It's not the most user-friendly. It's really not very user-friendly at all. And every time they have a Charms update, it seems to be not as good as the one before, which is really, really annoying and frustrating. But there's not a better system for bands out there that does everything we need it to do. So you're looking for total balance due, and you'll be able to see that information in your child's Charms account. You can make your band fee payment through PayPal in Charms, which is the preferred method if you're able to do it that way. You can pay by credit card over the phone with our lovely treasurer of our booster club, Miss Amy Albus. Or cash or checks we can accept if that's absolutely necessary. We're trying really hard not to do paper exchanges if that's possible. And you will indicate which method of payment you would like to use on the cost form that you're going to submit that I showed you just a minute ago. School-owned instruments. If your child plays a school-owned instrument, there is a $50 fee for the year to use the school instrument. That is a fee that's charged by the district. That goes for oboe, bassoon, tenor, and bari saxophone, French horn, euphonium, and tuba. There are a few other students that are using school-owned instruments that play different instruments than that. hopefully you know who you are. That $50 fee will be assessed in Skyward this year, which is a change from the past. And it's not all set up and running correctly yet, but as soon as we get that set up through our school secretary at Hudson, I will let you know, because you'll be able to do that through Skyward. So that's that. And now I'm going to give you a hopefully very quick little Canvas walkthrough that I hope is helpful to some of you. So can you see my Canvas? I hope you can. Okay. So my son, he's in the 3rd grade at Armstrong, and he's also been a child in all of our band classes. I just added him to our band classes so that I could actually see what students see. And he keeps getting mad at me because it says I didn't turn in my blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's fine. So this is what Canvas looks like for our band students. It might look bigger. Hopefully it looks better. And this is all they should see. I got rid of a whole bunch of the stuff that's over here on the left-hand side because it's too confusing with too much stuff and too many places to click to get lost. So here's the big ticket items. We train our band students from the time they walk in the door in the 6th grade that the agenda for the class.
Uh-oh, stuck.
The band screen in the ensemble room, and that screen is where the agenda happens. So they know what we're going to do in class every day just by looking there. The other thing that we added last week was on our whiteboard. This is a picture of our actual band hall, by the way. This isn't like the cutesy Bitmoji thing. This is the real band hall with cute Bitmoji teachers. So on the whiteboard, I added this assignments due this week. Here's what you have to know. This is what you actually turn in just for this week, so that they can hopefully keep track of that a little bit better. Here's the big one. If they need to know where their assignments are, it's down here at the bottom. All they have to do is click weekly assignments, period. That's it. And there they are. These are our assignments. They're in order by week. I changed that this week. I put the most recent stuff at the top and the older stuff down at the bottom. So this is where they find their assignments. Again, it was from, and I always tell them, if all else fails, go home. Just go home and you can find anything. It's just the weekly assignments button. That's where they get to that. Another really important thing for them is this one that says how to videos. I don't know how to submit my note name assignment. Well, there's a video that shows you how to do it. I don't know how to do my alphabet masters. There's a video. As I add more videos, they are going in this page. So, and it's all on the home screen. It's all there. The virtual band binder, also really important thing down here. Another button for them to click, virtual band binder. As we add more stuff, if your child is in 7th or 8th grade, there's a lot more stuff in their virtual band binder right now, but they can click on any of the stuff. If you're like, my child's practicing the alphabet, but they don't have the paper, there it is right there, Alphabet Master. It comes in two different kinds, differentiation. Who likes circles versus who likes lines. It's just up to the kid. It's the same thing. But virtual band binder is helpful. And then 2 more things and then I'm done. Okay. This is something we started today. It is the subscription service called Breezing Through Theory. And I put it on the home screen down here at the bottom of our classroom. It says Breezing Through Theory login info. It tells them the username and the password. And this is the same for every single kid. Username and password, excuse me. They get to Breezing Through Theory. It's one of the very few things they can see over here. They click on this. It's going to tell them you have to open this in a new tab because we tried it, leaving it in Canvas, and it didn't work well. So we made it a tab. Then they click login. They type in the username, which was Hudson MS. They type in the password, which was band414. and they log in, and then all they do every single time is type in their first and last name and select their class. If they're a 6th grade student, they are in beginner band. If they are a 7th or 8th grader, they're in either one of these 3 bands, Honor, Symphonic, or Wind Symphony. They should know which one they're in. And they click on their class and they log in. And this system is really cool. It's kind of a fun way to learn music theory. I'm going to make a fun little video about that, about how to navigate through this this weekend. But the big thing is they will need to always click on the next gen edition. And then it opens up this fun stuff. They can see what all there is to do here. There's different chapters about different things about music. You can see their progress in here. Basically, it goes through little lessons. I hope this is okay. I'm just running through it really fast. They watch the little lesson. They learn stuff. They've probably already learned it anyway. They go through and they learn everything there is to know. And then they get to these fun, they're called mad dash drills. And this is basically them showing us that they've learned the concepts. So they do each little mad dash drill. They're kind of fun. They have to enter the notes. Oh my gosh. Can I do this? This is on demand. Oh my gosh. I'm really anxious right now. They just go through and they click and they fill in the, I really am anxious at the moment. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go really fast just to show you what this looks like. It's kind of cute. It looks cartoony a little bit. It just makes it kind of more fun for students to practice. Oh, that's wrong. I clicked in the wrong place. As you can see, you have to be really accurate. Otherwise, it's going to click on the wrong line and then you're going to get the answer wrong. Some of you are like, I have no idea what you're doing because I don't know how to read music. Your child can teach you. They know. I'm almost done. This is the last one. Okay. So then they click done and they get it right and it gives them this like cute little music. Oh, I didn't get 100, so my song wasn't as long. The songs, when you get 100, are pretty awesome, actually. If they don't like the score, they're like, that wasn't good enough. I wanted to get something higher. They can always click redo. They can redo it as many times as they want until they're ready to submit it. Then and they have completed that assignment. We're going to start giving assignments in Breezing Through Theory next week. Today in all of our 6th grade classes, we logged in. Everybody logged in. We kind of went through it with them. Tomorrow we're doing that with the 7th and 8th grade classes. The other thing I was going to share with all of you is the last thing is musicprofessor.com. This is being provided to every student in the district, every middle school band student in the district by the district. And musicprofessor.com, it looks like this. I have given Music Professor every student's school email address, and I just got an email like 30 minutes before this meeting that says Music Professor sent all the students their login information. So I don't know if they've actually gotten that yet. We'll find out tomorrow. And it looks like this. Like if your student plays the clarinet, they're going to have access to all of these clarinet sessions, whatever. If they play beginner clarinet, like they can literally start from the very, very beginning. And if your kid is the kind that likes to get ahead, they're the kid that watches every YouTube video about how to do everything on their instrument. They're going to love this because it's super awesome. It goes through lessons. They watch videos about how to do all the stuff on their instrument, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to stop that, but stop. Musicprofessor.com provided for every single band student in the district, which I think is really cool. So that's all I have to share with you. Do you have questions? If you do, if you can type them in the chat, I can go through them as they come. Is that RJ? What did he say? Is that for all classes? Canvas speaking to Skyward. Canvas speaking to Skyward is for all classes. we have to push a button and it says sync to Skyward, and then all of our grades just go into Skyward. What happens if the 6th grade student ID doesn't work in Charms? If the student ID doesn't work in Charms, you can try to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as the password. And then you can type in your student's name and supposedly it'll send you an email to reset their password. If that doesn't work, you can send me an email and I will help you figure it out. If you don't have any questions, that is all I have for you. And thank you so much for sharing your students with us this year. We're really excited to get started with them. Our 6th graders already are just hilarious and funny and full of energy. And they're just, I love, we haven't gotten to do what we love for a really long time. And so it's been really fun the last couple weeks. So when will 8th grade get info about band in high school? That usually comes in March-ish, April-ish. Go ask your dad. I'm in a meeting. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, we're excited. We're having a good time so far. Every day in Wind Symphony, the last 90 seconds has turned into who can tell the best joke. Appropriate joke. And I put a new thing in the s'more of the joke of the week. Currently, Hank Harrell is in the lead. He's got my favorite joke of the week. The super corny ones are always my favorite. So if your child wants to know the joke of the week, it's good. Really corny. Thank you, everybody.
Good to see you all.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Brenda.
All right. I didn't ever look. How many people were there at one time?
We were up to 103 at one point.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's exciting.
He had a great audience.
I just thought you guys are doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything. Like y'all are one of my favorite teachers that she has because everything is so consistent and amazing.
Hey, Elena. Hi.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for making it easy and concise, and y'all are doing great. Keep up the good work. We are live.
Yes, I see you.
You're still on.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Should I stop recording? Do I need to leave it on in case there's a fantastic question? Bye, Jimmy.
I think you're good.
All right.
Hey, Miss Becker.
Yes, ma'am.
You're about to get a text from me. I'm adding the email